fight. Flip a coin. I think Danny Perez, we've seen him before, should eke this one out. Don't know much about that. But the following week on ESPN2, June 12th, San Jose, California, Robert the Ghost Guerrero is taking on Johnny Sandman Edwards? No, that was the name of another guy named Edwards back in the late 70s, early 80s, named Willie the Sandman Edwards, who had got most notoriety by fighting Matthew Saad Muhammad in Matthew Saad Muhammad's comeback fight. And he basically blasted out Saad Muhammad. But anyway, this is Johnny Edwards, who's been in that track around with Al Seeger and those other guys or whatnot. I expect Guerrero to slick himself by Edwards, and he'll get by him with no problem. And forget about Gamboa, because I'm not sure if Edwards got blasted by Gamboa. I know Seeger did, but anyway, I expect Guerrero to win this fight handily, and hopefully he won't get cut or any of the other stuff that happened last time, because I know Golden Boy's trying to put him on a, want to fit him into the bigger cards to get a title shot at 130 pounds. The next night, Saturday night, June 13th, Madison Square Garden, New York, HBO starts what is becoming what I consider the second hot season in boxing. Boxing is a year-round sport, and where it really gets its knock is the controversial things, plus I think an unevenness throughout the year. It'll start off real hot in, like, say, January, February, then die down again until April. There'll be a few hot spots, then die down again until like mid-June, July, die down again until the second week of September, onward for a couple of weeks, die down again maybe in October. Sometimes there's good fights in October, and then pick up again one last time before the end of the year. It goes in quarterly spurts, and we've just coming off basically what I think is like the letdown season, because usually there's good fights around March, sometimes February, March, and then there's usually some quietness. They'll have one fight in April. Anyway, we're getting back into fighting season again, is what I'm saying. And on this card, I think we're going to get to see Ivan Calderon defend his Ring Magazine and WBO 108-pound title against Rodel Mayol. I would normally say that this is basically almost the safest bet in the house, and that Calderon is going to win a unanimous 12-round decision. The only thing I will say is that, much like Ricardo Lopez before him, he looks a little more vulnerable at 108 pounds. I think he's going to beat Mayol, but one of these days it's going to happen, and it's going to happen when we least expect it to happen. Not that it ever happened to Lopez, but he looks a little more vulnerable at 108 to me. Not much, and he's also getting a lot more miles on his transmission. So I expect the Iron Boy to come through again, unanimous decision. The main event's what everybody's been asking me about, and we'll go ahead and put this out there so we can debate this and discuss this. Miguel Cotto, WBO welterweight titleist, taking on Joshua Clottey, the IBF welterweight titleist. I'm not sure if this is going to be unification bout or not. I was hoping it would be, but at least we know the WBO belt is on the line. My pick in this fight is Miguel Cotto, and I think he's going to win a wide decision. I don't know if he's going to have, either one of them has what it takes to stop the other one. I know a lot of you out there are very excited and high on Clottey, and here's what I got to ask. Why? Just tell me why. What has he done that has garnered this hype that he gets from the media? I'm just kind of curious. Look at his record carefully. He has only had 2 stoppages in the last 5 years, and one was dubious against that Santana or Jose Luis, the guy that Mosley won a decision against. I mean, and that was like a premature stoppage. He hasn't stopped a world-class opponent ever. What makes you people think that he's going to stop Cotto like Margarito did? He doesn't put on the pressure like Margarito does. He doesn't punch in volume like Margarito does. And I don't think he hits as hard as Margarito does, with or without loaded hand wraps or not. He doesn't. His record dictates that. I mean, if Alfredo Angulo, as slow as he is, and we saw against, Cintrone, can stop Gutierrez, but Kermit Cintron can't, I'm sorry, scratch that, strike that, reverse it, start again. Willy Wonka. Okay. If Joshua Clottey can't stop Richard Gutierrez, but Alfredo Angulo can, we've got a problem. And the problem is that I don't think he's fast enough. The pressure will be there, but Cotto can fight this out in a couple of different ways. Personally, here's my advice. If he fights like he does against Margarito, like he did against Margarito, by backing up and going to the side, Cotty will never catch him. Cotto will build up points, know in his head, not worth trying to go for a knockout. He's got the fight in the bag. The other way is the Mosley blueprint against Margarito, and that is Cotto goes in there, backs him up, digs. Listen, as good defensively as Cotty is, you can't cover everything at all times. And I think the hand speed of Cotto, just the pedigree of Cotto, is going to be too much in this fight. I expect him to win a decision. Can he stop Cotty? You know, we don't know that until we see each guy take the other's punch. Because for all I know, maybe Cotto can't take a punch anymore. I doubt it. But, you know, the thing with Margarito, with the hand wraps, is like one of the best things that ever happened to Cotto, because in his mind there's a seed of doubt now about that loss. Before you have a loss, a guy who's undefeated takes a beating like that, and they think, oh man, I'm not as great as I thought I was, or this, that, you know, whatever. The doubt creeps in. Now you get this hand wrap thing, and well, you know, maybe that wasn't legit. Who knows? I think it's BS, but at the same time, I think it's good for Cotto that this happened, because mentally it's going to get him over the hump of, you know, self-doubt, if there is any. I don't think there is. I think he's very professional, and I personally think he's going to win this fight. You know, why, again, you tell me if you know, is this going to be a unification fight? I hope it is. And the second question of the week is, what do you people see in Cotty? I mean, the only thing that is super impressive that he has ever done that I've seen is beat down and already beaten down Diego Corrales. And he didn't knock him out to stop him. He wanted, I mean, he put him on the canvas twice, but that ain't no big deal. There's a long list of fighters that have done that. I mean, and it was in his comfortable weight division, where Corrales was a smaller man moving up. So my whole thing is what do you see that would make you think that Cotty's going to beat Cotto? I mean, can he do it? Yes. I'm not writing him off as saying he's not going to do it. I'm just saying I think the cards are stacked against him. He's playing with the house money. It's the Puerto Rican Day Parade's the next day, and it's going to be in New York City at Madison Square Garden. I know that Cotty is relocated to New York, but every time that Cotto has fought on this Saturday before the Puerto Rican Day Parade, the house is usually stacked with his followers. I mean, I don't find it possible that Cotty can win a decision, and I don't think he can stop Cotto. So that's where I'm going to leave it. That's going to be it for this edition of boxing. Actually, you know what? I'm trying to think if there's something else that I wanted to bring up. No, we'll just go ahead and discuss this, and because it's going to, like I said, it's going to get busy with, especially after this, because the next show we're going to have is going to be the recap of this fight, along with the preview of the Haymaker of the Steel Hammer fight. It should be interesting. Thanks a lot, everybody. Take care.